Welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happens to the YouTube Atheist community and the other stuff that may be of interest and such thing possible. Anyway, in the news. Oh, I know there's something. Anyway, I did do one of those stupid rooms called shit, and, whatever, 5 hours of shit. It's always interesting. I mean, some of it, I'm actually a little bit annoyed by some of it, just because I didn't explain some things exactly how I would have liked to. I'm not going to go back and erase and fix, but whatever. But interesting characters, some new Canadian crazy chick poo thing. A lot of crazy people in Canada. Well, I mean, whatever. Crazy, retarded. Crazy, retarded, so it's all kind of the same thing. A lot of lead up in Canada, apparently. Yeah, the lead problem. Seems to be some sort of worldwide problem. Except where I live. I played with mercury when I was a kid, and I think that made the difference. I think if you play with mercury, you don't get leg poisoning. Yeah. I was even a scientist back then. Yeah, I was doing scientific experiments with mercury. Anyway, seemed harmless enough. Swirly bits. Anyway, but that's not the subject of this video, I don't think. Not entirely. Alright, so that's one video. A Gray Guy made a couple of videos. I haven't watched one of them because it has sad things in it. I just, the image is just so, oh no, it's gonna be sad stuff. So I didn't have the courage. But the other one was really good. It's me yelling into music, and it was mankind was our business kind of thing. So it was really good. So yeah, just go find that. I mean, look, all this stuff is at the thing where my videos show thing. Well, anyway, I'll show it. Yeah, they're all here. This is where I do YouTube. It's in my own little YouTube funnel. Link below and such. So anyway, videos I wanted to comment on. I mean, there were just a couple of stupid videos. So anyway, Billy. Yeah, I'll call him Billy. Jim? Whatever. Yeah, that guy. Anyway, he did one of his music things, and so yeah, it was kind of funny. Whatever that thing is that you use to fuck with your image on your camera, webcam, any cam. Yeah, I used to use that now and then. I should. It looks pretty. I mean, you have a lot more interesting effects now, but I don't know. It kind of, probably blows your computer up in some way or another. So better not to fuck with things too much. But yeah, I want to do some sort of video effecting thing. I used to do that shit, and I've gotten very lazy about trying to make myself more interesting. That superficial, easy way. Yeah, I was thinking about that as, I was thinking of the two-slit experiment. I won't talk much physics. I did a ton of physics videos, by the way, a ton of them. But I was thinking about the two-slit experiment, and I was thinking about Photoshop, and the fact that, you don't see much where they take, photographs of the diffraction pattern and then apply, light wavelength filters to see if you can extract more character, out of the result, because that would be kind of interesting. I mean, I just haven't seen it done. It just seems like it's obvious that you could probably find a lot of artifacts if you use something like photos. You could find things hidden, that are just wiped out because your eyes can't do that frequency distinction thing. It just 50 nanometers here, 50 nanometers there, your eyes just don't see it. Where filters can find it and bring it forward. But anyway, there's so many things that aren't being done in the universe. I could go, well, I'll make another physics video. Yeah, well, sorry. I'm a little bit behind. This is going to be late. I have a headache. doing all this thinking, and it's hard on my brain now and then. Or tumor or something else, who knows. Anyway, it's okay, it's betterish, so tolerable now. But I do have things to do, way behind now. Just so much to get to, just me to do it. So anyway, so yeah, I will mention Hoffaday made some stupid review of F-List movie. So I might as well do it now since I just mentioned his name. Yeah, he's made a lot of stupid videos, but again, he says this stupid thing. I couldn't even watch the video because you just can't get past his stupid premises. His preamble of insulting crap. So he does this little preamble, and he gets to the part where he says, all value is subjective. And you're just like, not this again. I mean, all value has to be perceived subjectively. You have to have a machine capable of a measuring device. So in a sense, all measurement is subjective. Some ruler, it's a particular ruler that measured it. Everything measured, everything qualified, quantified, everything interacted with, every interaction is subjective. The fact that it's subjective doesn't mean it's not measuring something that's objective. So the point is when you're analyzing the world and value, is the only thing that makes you think it has value is something inside of you, or is it something about the qualities the thing has? I mean, I can put baseball game and I can put little child on scales, and people are smart enough to say, yes, baseball game gives me just emotional crap. It doesn't have any intrinsic value. It's welfare. It doesn't matter. It doesn't feel. I can shoot an arrow at it and it's not going to hurt baseball game. And child, opposite understanding that, oh yes, this thing does have a welfare. This thing does have an experience. This thing does have a quality of life. I mean, this is just so fucking idiotic. That he thinks I'm going to have a conversation with somebody. I mean, he can't imagine, how could you require me to accept that the world is round before we have I'm not going to have a conversation with somebody who's a flat earther. I'm not going to have a conversation with somebody who thinks we're all reptilians and comic book characters. I mean, you just can't go too stupid and say, yes, I'm still going to have a conversation with somebody who eats their goddamn poo. And in my opinion, you are intellectually eating your own poo if you can't figure out that, yes, we subjectively perceive the world, but some of our subjective impressions are really reflections of actual things, actual qualities that exist in the thing. We have empathy for children for an actually reasonable, rational, logical reason, where you might have love of baseball for a completely irrational, subjective, idiotic sexual preference or something. You're horny for little baseball butts or something. Homo. There ought to be just fucking channels devoted to insulting sports fans. I wish there was somebody who would go out and do this for me. Make a channel and just gratuitously insult the fucking penis strength of all these lame assholes who think sports means something. Ignorant cunts. Tommy from the Bronx. Did a video about shitting, which I suppose is okay. I mean, maybe 1 in every 400 of my videos is somehow related to shitting, but I just mean, it's too soon. You gotta wait till you're back a while before you can do a shitting video. You have to have a whole reservoir of videos before you're allowed to make shitting videos. Something like that. Anyway. So the point that, look, here's the simple point, right? I mean, if I say the statement to you, look, I'm just saying, we know that sensations, it's just a fact that it's a qualitative thing. There's definitely a qualitative aspect to having sensations. There's no way, it's just a flat earth asshole if you won't concede there's a qualitative element to these experiences. And now we're just stuck with this word good and bad, and I can just say that we absolutely know it is a fact. Just as factual as the round goddamn motherfucking earth is the fact that it goes from some real standard of bad or good to some lesser standard of bad or good. That it's a real value thing. There's no doubt about torture and cupcake, for fuck's sake. And I would just logically argue that the clearly sensible statement is that experiences range from bad to less bad, where you could never say all experiences are good or less good. We know that that wouldn't work. We know that experiences are never absent good. They are full of bad. So I'm just saying that that's one edge I have in my argument, that intrinsically or fundamentally you're just trying to get to some sort of not bad state, not some sort of good state, because there's no such thing. There's just extraction of your tensions and your irritations. If all these fuckers were horribly destroyed in some terrible accident, I might have a good feeling. Anyway, yeah, it would just be because bad had been turned into an oil slick, and it was so much better. Yeah, oil slick is so much better than you fuckers. Anyway, so enough of that. But someday I may play his video just if no one else does it, but clearly it had to be a garbage review if he can't still understand that the premise of the argument requires you to know something about real, actual, factual, conscious experience, and something like some sort of philosophical higher standard than I will accept nothing as being real until, oh wait a minute, I will accept nothing as real ever because you're all using subjective rulers. Anyway, I mean, he won't accept what, hey, electron microscope, here's a picture. It doesn't count. It's this individual electron microscope. Subjective. Nope, 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 nope. We need an intellectual mafia. Yeah, there's some cleaning. So we don't have to indulge retards. Anyway, okay. On the other hand, there's also anti-bullshit man, so I try to get to him quickly. Alright, so girl in hat. So it's Ghost in the Day in person. And she did a comical video. Yeah, it had comic elements. And yes, okay, it was funny. But, she was just doing this whole, oh, aren't trans people silly, whiny asswipes? Doing the whole, you have to see my inner beauty thing. Or my inner strength. I'm a fireman, and it's a girl that's 3 feet tall, and, I was meant to be, and, there's obviously, we've all seen these people who are just so fucking ludicrous, they're artists, and because they put a red crayon line next to a blue crayon line or something, they're just so full of their own personal experience of life, and they're just so delusional in terms of how they have any meaning or value to any rational beast on this planet. I mean, they probably can't even pet a cat properly, and they think I'm the reincarnation of Leonardo da Vinci, something like that. I mean, just preposterous, silly people. So she's insulting silly people generally. But, there is this edge to it that just seems a little bit insensitive. And so part of me, the politically correct part of me just said, gee, that was a little bit unnecessary. Because it just bled a little bit too much over into the idea of insulting, all of that whole real experience people have, where fuck, they really need to be seen for more than their condition, more than what's on the surface, and that's not that big a burden. It's not that hard for us to recognize that some people have sensibilities that just require just a little bit of care. I mean, you don't have to do a lot. You can tell jokes and you can be a little bit, but you just don't go to, you just, see, I don't know, I probably am guilty of excesses sometimes in my generalizations, and so I'm not preaching something. I'm just saying, the video was a little bit, it was a little bit too much, from my perspective, in the sense that it was too hard a joke, and I guess it's just a sensitive subject. It's just a little bit tricky. Yeah, I guess that's all I'm saying. It's like gay jokes or something. I mean, you got to be a little bit careful. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if she was careful enough. I guess that's all I'm saying. She might not have been careful enough, because I don't see her as an insensitive person. To people with neuroses of some kind. She is a little bit of a neurotic herself. So it just seemed a little bit rude to the idea that, yes, people are silly and assholes. But I guess there's a difference between, it still isn't, yeah. I mean, the real difference is we should kill the retards. Silly is okay, but the fucking retards, yeah, they're not okay. See, that's a joke, kind of. But it could be viewed by somebody who's, innocently retarded as offensive. Or people who love somebody who's retarded. So I guess my commentary doesn't mean anything. I guess I'm just explaining how, I don't know. Even though I'm a fairly insensitive asshole, it just didn't seem quite right. That's all. Yeah, that's it. It's just a little too mocking. Yeah, it was just a little too much. And too much of the mockery was too real. I mean, legitimately mocked. And in a sense, that's when it gets, when you start really saying something that gets a little bit too close to real people. Yeah, that's a little bit dangerous. I mean, real people in the sense of all the people of a class. Anyway, alright, so what else? So then there was, everything else was kind of boring, I think. Fucking warbles on, a lot going through. Look what I got for Christmas. So, anyway, I guess I did get cigarettes. I'm out of cigarettes though. I'll have one just in honor of, as well, have a piece of one. Yeah, I'll just light one of these stubs. Yeah, unfortunately, I smoked them all. I can't help but binge smoke for some reason. Just can't. I guess it's good I don't have that problem with food and all that kind of stuff, but man, I just cannot, I cannot seem, I mean, if you put it in, if I have it in the house, I'm going to smoke them. Just, but I probably could do better next time. I've said that every time, but I just think next time I'm really going to get it right. I'm almost certain. Subjective wishful thinking, I think. Anyway, so there's anti-bullshit, man. I guess I'll get to that one. So I think Glenos. Yeah, Glenos made a video. Very good. Very nice. Anyway. So, yeah, anti-bullshit, man. I don't know where his video is. Somewhere. There he is, there. I don't remember much. Didn't play the whole thing. But I did get to a part where he was talking about democracy, and he used the argument that this is somehow the ad populum fallacy. That if you, if you think it matters how many people believe something, or what percentage of the population believes something, and all that kind of crap, And that's not the argument somebody, in my opinion. When I'm pro-democracy, my argument isn't that, look, the democracy is proving the issue or defining right from wrong. The argument is merely that we have no other way to make a fair fight. It's just, I just don't think there's any other way to construct it unless you get into some sort of hierarchical disqualification or ranking of human beings. And I'm not, strictly speaking, I'm not opposed to giving people voting power based on their IQ. I mean, it might not be the worst thing in the world to do. I mean, if you have some fair test to measure that, some fair, let's not even call it an IQ test. Let's call it, like let's not have it a timed performance test or something. Let's just have a 10-question kind of thing. And, if you get any answers wrong, like 10 fairly easy questions, yeah, you have less voting power. I mean, something like that. Say 10 questions pulled out of a random field of 1,000 easy questions. That kind of thing. That's some kind of, look, fairness is, again, so you want a fair test to judge fair appropriation or acquisition of power in deciding how the bus is going to be steered. So you're basically just saying, look, there's all these people on the bus. It's critically important that the bus go on the right roads and shit. And the fact is, some people in the bus are so much better at driving buses than other people on the bus. And they're so much more capable. They can reach the pedals. They've done it before. They've steered in roads before. Or they have incredible technical knowledge of the physics of the environment. They know how fast they can go without the bus tipping over and all that kind of stuff. And that we should, if we're rational, all agree, let's maximize our capacity. So if you were in a lifeboat, right, and say a lifeboat that held 50 people, a big lifeboat, and yeah, you'd kind of want people in control who understood how much water there is, how far we can go, who knew how to navigate in the ocean, who knew how to make sails, who knew how to sail boats against the wind, and knew how to do all kinds of fancy shit like that. You just wouldn't want, Joe Idiot fucking up, going, well, I think it looks pretty over there. Let's go in that pretty direction. There's just a little pinky cloud over there. Let's go that way. You wouldn't want that shit fucking up your rescue, right? So that's where it gets a little complicated. But my argument is, fundamentally, I mean, I'd love to have a system like that. Well, we know we can't get there. Well, not that we can't. I'm not going to say we can't. I'm just saying, wow, is that ever hard to do? Because that's kind of like making a joke video about transsexuals and stuff. That's going to be really hard to pull off without somebody throwing a tomato. I mean, at least one, and probably one with a grenade in it. Because they're all going to go, eugenics, and, bigot, and they're all going to do all that shit to you. So we know we're not probably going to be able to get there. But anyway, so my argument is I think most of the higher-minded people who discuss the concept of democracy do not believe that democracies guarantee right answers or have anything to do with the quality of decision-making. It just has to do with that fair fight thing. That there's no other way to engineer a fair fight where you go in and you say, this is the issue, and somebody's got to win, and so you're just going by who made the best argument and convinced the most people kind of thing, and that's all you can hope for. And our democracy doesn't do that because obviously our representatives don't represent us, so yes, democracy isn't even an argument from ad populum in the sense that it's an argument from the same majority in a bunch of individual districts tell everybody else what to do. And that, just totally annihilates the fair conversation because it's only the majority arguing with the majority, It's the same self-interested majority in different rigged elections arguing with itself, and that is a schizophrenic asshole, not a representation of obviously the intellectual minority will not be represented by such a system. So you're not going to get the best driver for the bus that way. That's guaranteed. It's very unlikely that you're on a bus where most of the people on the bus, right, are professional bus drivers. And the whole idea is that you kind of want a system that if you do have a professional bus driver, he's actually driving. You know, that kind of thing. That would be what you would hope for, is that if you're on an airplane, you know, you don't presume that most of the people on the airplane know how to fly planes. No, you realize that what you really want to try to do is, if there's a couple of people that do know how to fly a plane, that they're the ones actually in the cockpit flying the plane. Alright, that's enough, I think. So yeah, so I'm still stuck doing physics shit. I gotta do some other shit, and I gotta do this, and I gotta do that. But I did want to cover those subjects just in case I didn't get to them, and maybe I will play those videos more completely in the future, but frankly, the Holiday videos are just so insufferable. He's such a lying piece of motherfucking blubber. And what else do I want to say? Yeah, that's it. I think that's a complete enough statement for the end of the video. God, I hate that scumbag. Anyway, so, hey, there's a video somebody took down already. It's only been up for a little bit and somebody already took it down. Let's go see what it is. Oh, Yo, I don't know. Yo, dude, bro. Yo, dude, bro. Ooh, that might be a good song. Yo, dude, bro. Bro, yo, dude, bro. Yeah, make a song that just has yo, bro, dude, bro in it. Yeah, yo, bro, dude in it. Yeah, those three stupid fucking idiotic words. Last bastion of the retards. But, you know, completely different kind of retardation than Holiday. Cat versus dog kind of retardation. Alright, that's probably enough. I haven't watched the Old Fans Outtake video yet. I don't know what the hell's, you know. I'm just not all the way up to, yeah, I'm just not. I'm just not. Dot. Hey, that's it. That's a good title. So I'll go with that. Alright, till the next time. And such, so forth and whatnot. Continue to have a lovely period of whatever this December solstice thing. Yeah, I know that's what people say. That doesn't really work. This period of whatever. Period. You have a lovely menstruation. Menstruation. Probably not saying that right. Anyway. Sorry. Yeah, I was just thinking about, you know, I still can't get over the fact that Christians are so stupid. I mean, they clearly have lost the Savior argument altogether, right? I mean, clearly, none of us were forgiven for Adam or Eve's sins, right? We're just clearly not in any way better off after Jesus than we were before Jesus. There's just absolutely no indication that all the pre-sins that we were now tortured for, you know, cast out for, all the casted out sins, we obviously weren't forgiven for. Because we're obviously still being, every child born is being horrifically prosecuted for being human, being a descendant of that scumbag, Adam and Eve. Those scumbags. I mean, women, they're continued to be cursed. You know, I mean, it's just so obvious. It's just like, how the fuck can you call him? He died for our sins. Well, apparently, you did it wrong. Obviously. You know, he better come back and do it again, as it didn't take. I mean, it's just so fucking stupid. I mean, not that I want to knock down Christianity, because then they'll say, well, Muhammad was the Savior, because he didn't promise to do any of that shit. But I'm not sure. I don't know what his whole bag was. What his whole agenda was. I'll show you God's hatred and pedophile nature. I guess that was his purpose. I mean, people are just so fucking stupid. And then there's assholes like Hotliday who have to pretend to be even dumber. What's the feeling? Feelings mean something? Hey, how do you know that? What, are you conscious or something? Huh. How do you acquire that knowledge? It's not a hammer big enough, man. Anyway, till next time.